I think professional athletes do make too much money, uh, just by comparison with other professions. For example, teachers who I think are a lot more important with the job that they do, they don't get paid enough. And then you have people who are just playing a game and they get paid so much money, and I think it's a little unfair.
I think athletes they don't make too much money because they're playing their favorite sports and they enjoy what they do. However, I heard about NHL in Canada, the hockey, and they're asking for more money, and I think they should just take the money that they have because they get a lot of money already. They shouldn't keep asking for more money.
I think athletes make far too much money, especially footballers. This is soccer players for those people who speak American English. Um, I think that people like nurses, doctors, teachers, they should be getting more money, not people who play sport.
I think professional players do deserve the money they get. They're portraying their image publicly and risking their bodies to entertain us. And there's a lot of money that goes into it. Why shouldn't they reap the benefits? Why should the owners or the people that are making profits in other areas when they're doing all the work reap all the benefits?
Yes, I certainly think, especially professional footballers earn much too much money. One guy called Rio Ferdinand just signed a contract for £110,000 per week, and that's more money than I'll ever earn in my entire life. So I don't think that's fair.
No, I don't think they make too much money. I think athletes deserve all the money they get. I mean, they make a lot of money, and it seems crazy that they make so much money, but the bottom line is so many people watch their games, buy their jerseys, buy tickets to follow them, listen to them on radio. So they bring in a lot of revenue, and they are the reason that people watch them. So they should get all the money that they earn. Maybe they should give a little more to charity, or give some of the money back to communities. But yeah, I think they deserve the money they get.
Between cats and dogs, I definitely prefer dogs. Although cats are very cute, but dogs are also very. I like to be active. I like to run around the lawn and take them for walks. And the dogs are more like a little kid. And I actually have a dog. I own a dog in New Zealand. And every day I take him for a walk and feed him just like my own little child.
Let's see, cats or dogs? I think I would prefer a dog over a cat, and the reason being cats make me sneeze and they make my eyes itch, whereas dogs I'm not too allergic to them. The other hand, dogs have personality. Cats seem to be a bit smarter at times, more like humans, but I think a dog is a lot more fun to be around. Plus, if you're ever in a time of need, a dog may save your life, or a cat will just watch you die.
Cats or dogs? That's a good question. Well, I think I would have to say cats because although I like both, cats are more independent and they can find their own food and they don't need to be taken for walks and generally they're less needy. So I think I would say cats.
I prefer dogs to cats because I think they're loyal and always pleased to see you. I think cats are a little bit selfish. But I have to say, I've never had either. I've only had a tortoise.
I think cats are a better pet than dogs because cats don't need to be minded. You don't have to worry about feeding a cat, walking a cat. A cat is independent and will walk itself. So also they don't require as much training as dogs, so they're much nicer pet, I think.
I prefer cats. Cats are clean, quiet, uh, low maintenance animals. You feed them, you let them out every once in a while, you give them attention, and they're happy. I used to have a cat, and I was quite happy with it.
I like living in cities more than the country because I like the crowdness of people all busy walking around, and especially I like going to clubs, being with many people and talking to new people is something I like very much.
I think ideally I'd like to do both. So be rich and have a house in the country and a house in the city, and spend my weekdays in the country in a stone house and go to the city on weekends and party.
Well, I've lived in very big cities for most of my life, Tokyo, Bangkok, Los Angeles, and now is the first time ever that I've lived in the country, and I'm finding that I like it a lot better. I have time to do things that I could never do in the city, like play guitar or even read the news, and I'm enjoying a peaceful lifestyle a lot more than the busy city life.
If I wanted to live in the city or country, I'd have to say nowadays, in the city. I grew up in the country in a very small farm, and it was kind of boring. I enjoyed the clean air and the wildlife around, but it was boring. The city is much more exciting and a lot more to do and see and experience. So, by and large, the city for me is the way to go.
I would rather live in the countryside because I'm from the islands and everything's more peaceful, relaxed, and time seems to go by slowly. Compared to the city, it seems like everyone's in a rush, moving around fast, trying to get things done as fast as possible. That's why I'd rather live in the countryside.
I think that living in the city would be so much better than living in the country. I like being active and I like going out, so living in the country would be, I would think boring compared to the city.
My dream job, absolute best job in the world, would be working for Bill Gates and being able to give my advice for a price. He asked me, what do I think about Loghorn? It sucks. Redo it. I get a few million. What do I think about the new Apple computers, their OS? It's great. You should copy it. Don't get caught. I get millions. How could you ask for anything more?
My dream job would be to work at the United Nations. I would like to work there because I could work in a very multicultural environment, and I would be allowed to travel a lot and experience many different types of countries and lifestyles.
My dream job? Well, I would like to be an NHL hockey player, an all-star in the NHL, getting paid millions of dollars a year, scoring a lot of goals, having lots of people honor me and look up to me, and just to be a good hockey player.
What is my dream job? My dream job is to work in a mass communication company, and I think I'm a very creative person, so I would like to do a very creative job. So I think a mass communication company can let me provide those creative thoughts and ideas.
My dream job would involve, first of all, a very, very high salary. I would start work at about 10 a.m., lunch at 12 for 2 hours, and then work in the afternoon until 4. I think I would spend half the year in the northern hemisphere and then half the year in the southern hemisphere, just so that I could have summer all year long.
My dream job is to have my own business. At the moment, I'm really into snowboarding, and so I'd love to have a snowboarding tour company. Um, every year I'm going snowboarding, and I have a lot of experience in teaching snowboarding, instructing, and also I'm at university now, so I'm learning how to run my own business and accounting, etc. So I would love to own my own snowboarding tour company.
What would I rather do, watch a movie on DVD or at the cinema? I think I would rather to watch a movie at the cinema because in the cinema there has a really good stereo, so you can really enjoy the movie. Of course, watching a movie on DVD is good because you can relax at home, but I would choose to spend the money and go to the cinema and have a really really good time.
My favorite way to watch a movie is at the cinema. I like the experience of being in a cinema, sitting in those nice comfy chairs, but especially the big screen. I think that's the most important thing. As well, the sound in the cinema is a lot nicer than the one in my home. But seeing Lawrence of Arabia or any other epic on a big screen is quite the experience, and I'm willing to go take the time and see it at the cinema rather than at home.
Would I rather watch a movie at the cinema or at home on DVD? Well, I'd definitely rather go to the cinema. There's a special magic at the cinema. You know, you're sitting there with your friends and, talking before the movie starts, and then the lights go down and you've got your popcorn and your soft drinks and everything. That reminds me of, having fun in childhood. If you're at home, you can with a DVD, you can fast forward or whatever you like. Maybe it's more convenient, but it's just not so much fun.
DVD or the cinema? It's a good question. I mean, I really like watching DVDs with my friends. I really like going to someone's house, and it's a cheap way of watching a movie. But I also really like going to the cinema, and I really like the atmosphere there. I prefer the atmosphere there to watching a DVD. And the other thing about the cinema is that I concentrate when I'm at the cinema. If I watch a DVD at home, I press stop, I go and I do some jobs, I can't focus. So I would say I like the cinema.
No question. It's much better to watch a movie in the cinema, movie theater. I mean, the screen is 10 times as big. Uh, the sound system is huge, and it's an outing. Watching a DVD at home is kind of like watching TV. No big deal.
Okay, so I prefer to watch movies in a cinema. Um, I love the big screen and the surround sound is great, and I usually like to sit around a lot of people and get their reactions as well as my own. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of times uh, it's just cheaper to see it on a DVD for me because people often give me DVDs as gifts. The death penalty, I don't believe in the death penalty. Um, because for me it's always a thing of, who gets to judge, who gets to live or die. Um, Even if the person is being killed because they killed someone, I still don't go for that eye for an eye type thing.
No, I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't believe in killing. In fact, I think that if someone um, deserves the death penalty, actually, instead of getting a death penalty, they should serve time in jail and have to face society and feel the humility. If they don't, if they serve the death penalty, they will not feel the shame and will not realize the consequences.
I believe in death penalty because I think rape and terrorism are some crimes which are totally so disgusting towards human race, and that's I don't think it's encouraged by anyone in the whole world, and everybody wants peace. So I think, yeah, there are some reasons why this death penalty should be there.
The death penalty. That's a tough one because I think the death penalty is a good deterrent. It would definitely stop me from doing certain crimes if I knew that I was going to be killed if I did them. But the problem with it is that you can never be sure if the person actually did it. So if we convict someone and then kill him and later find out that the person didn't actually do the crime, then I think that's a tragedy.
I'm against the death penalty. The main reason I'm against it is that there's always an element of doubt. You never know if somebody really did murder someone, or murder is usually the main reason for the death penalty. So there's always an element of doubt. You can never be quite sure. So I think there's always a risk, and you shouldn't kill someone.
I think that's a really difficult question, whether or not the death penalty should be in place. Most of the time, I think that I'm against the death penalty. But then, you read stories in the newspapers, especially about children being killed or particularly cruel ways of ending people's lives. And then sometimes I get so angry that I think, yeah, just kill that person because they deserve it. But really, when I calm down, I don't believe in the death penalty.
What is good about your hometown? One thing that's really good about my hometown, Toronto, is that it's a very multicultural city. That means that there are many different people from many different countries all over the world. So I really enjoy going out and eating different kinds of foods from different places. You can have Thai food, Indian food, Chinese food, French food, Italian food, Portuguese food, all kinds of foods, and I really, really enjoy that part of my city.
One good thing about my hometown, well, my hometown is Perth in Western Australia. The best thing about my hometown is, well, it's got a lot of parks and gardens and wide open spaces. We've got a beautiful river, the great outdoors. That's the best thing. You can really enjoy fresh air and sunshine.
My hometown is Birmingham, Alabama, in America. Um, I guess the good thing about Birmingham is it's a very friendly place. The South has a reputation for being friendly, and it's true. When you're there, people are generally very nice to you, and pretty much anywhere you go, even complete strangers will be nice to you. And we have a unique accent in Alabama. I don't normally talk that way, but it's usually interesting for other English speakers to hear.
Okay, so I'm from Philadelphia, and I think the best thing about my hometown is the food, as Philadelphia is famous for the Philly cheesesteak, um, and also for soft pretzels. Usually people like to put spicy mustard on them, and it's a very good treat in the summer with Italian ice.
My hometown is a very small town called Mullaney on the Sunshine Coast. It's located on top of on one part of the Great Dividing Range of Australia, so it's quite highly elevated mountain village. Um, it has beautiful views of the Sunshine Coast all the way down to the beach, and it's got a really nice sense of community, being such a small town.
What's good? Well, there are many good things really. I really like the people in my hometown, and I also like the fact that if you go shopping, everything is really quite cheap, and I can get to town really easily from my house. They're all really good things. On the other hand, sometimes it's a little bit difficult because there's not really that much to do. But except for that, the the cost and everything is really good.
Fashion. Well, I can only go shopping once a year, so I'm not very fashion conscious. I like clothes that fit me rather than and suit me rather than brand labels. Um, I especially love shoe shopping when I go home. Um, and my aim is to look nice, not particularly fashionable, but classic. That will do.
Fashion isn't really important to me. I just want clothes that look fairly smart and don't smell. If they've got holes in them, that's no good. But I'm not a follower of fashion.
Is fashion important to me? Not really. I usually wear whatever's comfortable. I don't usually care about name brands or anything like that. Um, I just go with what looks best on me, and yeah, it's got to be cool.
Fashion is not so important to me, but I do like to sometimes put an effort into how I look and into my appearance. I think the fashion expresses who you are, and it can differentiate you from others. But, however, on the other hand, people can judge you on fashion and your appearance, and this is not a good thing. You should look further than the appearance.
Fashion is not important to me. I try not to be a slave to corporate logos, and I just know what I like and I dress the way I like. And if I see something that's in fashion and I like it, I'll wear it. And if I see something that isn't in fashion or is in fashion and I don't like it, I won't wear it.
No, I don't think fashion is very important. I think it's more important to wear clothes that you're comfortable in and clothes that express your personality in some way. Um, so perhaps sometimes I'll see something that's the latest fashion and I might like it. But usually, if it's something a bit crazy, I don't like it. But sometimes then after a while, after I see a lot of people wearing it, it grows on me.
My first part-time job was washing dishes in a restaurant. It wasn't a very glamorous job, but I really wanted it because I wanted to pay for horse riding lessons. So every Saturday night I went to this restaurant and worked for maybe 5 hours every night. It was hard physical labor, but it taught me the value of money.
My first part-time job. I was living in a small town, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I worked for the Harmon Foundation, and they owned a hands-on science and math museum for children. So every day I would run a laser light show, and once I was through with that, I would give museum tours and explain the science and math background to each exhibit to adults and children. It was a lot of fun seeing kids open their eyes to mathematics and science and wanting to know more and asking questions that I couldn't answer. I really, really enjoyed that. And so I hope some of those kids that did come in to the museum, I hope they did create a future in science or mathematics.
My first part-time job was as a cashier at a supermarket. I really hated it because I had to stand on my feet for basically 8 hours a day, um, dealing with a lot of people who don't appreciate the job that we do. So I had a lot of people yelling at me for different reasons and always misunderstanding the situations. It's not a job I would go back to.
My first part-time job was working at McDonald's. When I was 15, I had a job at McDonald's, flipping burgers, doing fries, cooking, not taking orders. I enjoyed it for a while, about 2 or 3 months, but then I started losing interest in it, and after 6 months, I quit the job. But it was a good job for a 15-year-old.
My first part-time job was at a bakery, and this was in New Zealand. And I was in high school then, so about 2 times a week in the weekend, like Fridays after school and Saturdays all day, I would go to the bakery and sell the bread to the customers. And then the best part about the part-time job was that at the end of the day, all the leftover bread we could take home to our families, which made my brother very, very happy.
My first part-time job was at a restaurant called Chuck E. Cheese. It's a famous restaurant in America that is for little kids. And sometimes I was a waiter, but sometimes I got to dress up as Chucky. Chucky is a big mouse. He's the character for Chuck E. Cheese. And so I would dress up in a big mouse costume and go around entertaining little kids.
Clean freak. Those guys don't exist anymore. I'm a neo-clean freak. I cannot leave my house without scrubbing my bathroom floors, without washing down the kitchen, washing my dishes, even, scrubbing under my sinks, that little area where you put your plastic bottles and what have you. So everything has to be clean. I usually wear gloves. See, I'm wearing gloves now.
Am I a clean freak? Yes, I definitely am a clean freak. I hate when my place is messy. I particularly kitchens. I don't like when my kitchen is dirty because it makes the whole house look messy. And I like it when other people pay me the same respect and have their places clean when I'm over because I think it's rude if your place is messy and you have company. And I just it drives me nuts if my room is messy. I don't know. I just like it. I like it clean and tidy and organized.
Okay, am I a neat freak? No, not at all. My room is always messy. It usually kind of mirrors what's going on in my mind. If my room is junky, my mind is junky as well. So every now and then I try to clean my room just to make things neat in my own mind again.
I don't think I'm a clean freak. I would describe my mother as a clean freak. Her hobby is hoovering and dusting. Not really, but she likes to keep the house very clean. I suppose I'm a clean freak for myself. I always have a shower every day.
I'm definitely not a clean freak. In fact, I find it quite difficult to deal with clean freaks. I like to be clean, but I don't go overboard with it. So my house is sometimes messy, but I know where everything is most of the time. And I tidy up maybe once every couple of weeks, depending on how messy my house gets. But I don't like it too messy.
Am I a clean freak? No. I'm a total slob. I'm about the biggest slob that I know. When people come over to my apartment, they're disgusted all the time. I have trash all over the place. I let it get out of control. I leave dishes in the sink all the time. I have my dirty clothes in the huge pile in the corner of my room. This is not a knock on my poor mother, because my mother is very, very clean, and she raised me to be clean. And I don't know, something went wrong, and I'm just a total slob.